The feature film Rosewater is a true story based on the New York Times best-selling memoir, Then They Came For Me, a family story of love, captivity, and survival, written by BBC journalist Maziar Bahari. It's also the screenwriting and directorial debut of The Daily Show host and executive producer Jon Stewart. Hello, sir.
What's happening?
So you covered the story of Maziar's incarceration on your show, and his captors amazingly even showed him a tape of his appearance on The Daily Show as evidence that he was a spy. So it got real personal for you really fast, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's correct. And the idea that they had shown him this absurd piece of footage of, it was one of our correspondents, Jason Jones, wearing a keffiyeh and sunglasses, sitting in a cafe with Maziar saying, I'm an American spy and I'd like to know, why your country's so terrifying. And when he was in prison, they showed him this piece of footage and said, why would an American spy want to talk to you if you're not a spy? And I believe Maziar said, why would a spy have a television show?
It's a comedy.
It kind of went downhill from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how can you compare the experiences of directing The Daily Show with directing your first feature film?
Well, it was such a different environment. At the show, I've been there 16 years, so we've sort of sanded off pretty much every rough edge of production that you can imagine. But out there, I mean, you're on new locations. The first day we got there, we were shooting in a working Jordanian prison. And so there are we were in the solitary wing because Maziar had been held in solitary in Evan in Iran. And so you can imagine the prisoners are not necessarily thrilled to see people there dramatizing their existence. They're not. That's not the thing they're looking most forward to. And it's, it was 100 degrees. It was during Ramadan, so a large majority of the crew was fasting. So there were challenges to creating it. But I think throughout the process, because Maziar had endured so much, it kind of kept us all with a certain perspective of, all right, it's a little hot.
We'll get through it.
People aren't eating that much, but we're going to get through this. And also, Maziar's ability, the film has more humor in it than people might imagine because of Maziar's ability to retain his sense of humor while being held under these truly absurd sort of Kafkaesque circumstances.
So was there ever a point where you were like, I think I'll step away from the juggernaut that I've created with this little TV show and stick to movies from now on?
Yeah, man, I want to do, what is it, Transformers 8. I gotta get into this sequel business, man. Let's see if I can get Maziar arrested again, and then maybe I can do another one.
That is a plan. So last question, you had mentioned that humor does play a supporting role in the movie. How are you really able to weave that into a story with so much darkness and keep it authentic?
Well, I think that's the beauty of it, and it's sort of, he was the canary in the coal mine for that, is we forget that even in the darkest times, sometimes humor is something that can sustain you. I sort of liken it to, you wonder at the bottom of the ocean, at the blackest of the sea where no light gets in there, is there still life? And there is. It may not be, it may be absurd or grotesque. It may be a fish with, another fish growing out of its ear, but it's there. And his ability to sustain that and the memories of his mother and his sisters, sort of the women in the film that sort of hold it together, is what allowed him to get through this in a way where he retained his humanity.
Jon Stewart, congratulations. Can't wait to see the movie. And the film Rosewater is in theaters this Friday. For more information, you can also go to our website, atlantapluggedin.com.